Hey Jeff, this is Kip. Are you there able to hear us?
Good morning, Kip. I gotcha.
All right. All right. Sorry about the technical issues. We're going to get started here. Couple minutes late.
Awesome.
Apologize.
No worries. No worries.
All right. Hey, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to have a great webinar here when we do finally get it kicked off with Jeff from Assurity. As you have questions, please type them in the question box on your control panel at the bottom right side of your screen. We'll answer them at the end of the presentation. And after the webinar, please give me a call to receive a copy of today's webinar and answer any additional questions you may have. Thanks again for joining us. And Jeff, take it away. It's all yours.
Awesome. Well, thank you
you.
so much, Kip. And thank you for everybody at the Jitter and Company. Not only phenomenal customers of ours, but just wonderful people. So I appreciate the invite this morning. And Kip, kind of as you and I had talked, we're starting to see in the industry kind of a change in products, not only from the carrier standpoint, Kip, but also, the products that are being sold year over year over year. Indexed Universal Life has been, one of the primary and permanent insurance products out there. And what we're starting to see is some substantial growth in the whole life space. And so what I would like to do today is maybe give you some insights into kind of what I'm seeing from my desk, what I'm seeing from my view, and then go into the Assurity whole life portfolio. We've got a couple products, I think, that are not only very robust products with a lot of features and benefits, but as we're going to talk about, underwriting with Assurity is pretty darn easy. So with that, get my slides advanced. I am Jeff McClendon, Senior Sales Manager with Assurity. My internal partner, Travis Bryan, is there, and we are the support team supporting our Jetter and Company with all your Assurity business. Always like to kick it off with some fabulous news, and I am very, very happy to announce that Assurity is announced our Leaders Conference for 2024. And after quite a few years, of course, of having to stay in the States due to COVID, we are announcing that we're going to British Columbia. We're going to Vancouver, June of next year, and we would love you to join us. So qualifications for this trip, going to be based off of your level of hierarchy. So basically, whatever level you're appointed with at Assurity, you will notice, you will notice that there is that President's Circle down there. A little additional production is going to get you an additional night stay, some one-on-one time with our executives, and just a great opportunity. For personal production, what we're all concerned about here today, assuming that you were appointed with Assurity January of this year or before, it's a $90,000 requirement to make our trip, and then it grades down from there. So hope you can join us in British Columbia next year. It'll be a great trip and would love to see you. So Assurity has, as I mentioned, a whole life portfolio. And I'd like to dig in a little bit and kind of talk about the market, kind of what I'm seeing and why I think folks are kind of gravitating towards these guaranteed whole life products. And Kip, as you and I kind of talked about, estate tax, is whole life a relevant product when doing estate planning? And I truly believe that it is. When you have guarantees built into the contract, anytime I'm looking at doing estate planning, those guarantees are very, very important. As we know, the estate tax exemption for 2023 is, I believe, like 12.9 million. So just to use round numbers, roughly 26 million per couple. And then that's going to reset in 2025. It's going to drop down to 5 million. And then indexed with inflation, it'll go up. So it's kind of a moving target, and it makes it very difficult to plan. But with whole life insurance, with accelerated underwriting at Assurity, we have the ability to offer a very strong, robust, guaranteed product for those that are maybe looking for a permanent insurance. So what consumers want today? They want a faster, easier experience. I mean, let's be real. Buying insurance for many, many years has kind of been a long and drawn out and tedious process, especially when you get up into the higher face amounts. And they want value beyond a death benefit. I'm sure everybody on the call is familiar with living benefits. And our product does include some living benefits that are built into it that I absolutely love. So the consumers are looking for more value than just a death benefit. The target markets for whole life in general that sandwich generation. And that's me. That's this knucklehead talking to you today. You know what? I've got a son in his 20s. My parents are aging. So I'm kind of in that predicament where I'm a little bit financially supporting my son. My parents are getting older. And I know there's a high likelihood that one of them would have to move in with me later in life. And I need to financially plan for that. So that sandwich generation, we do have a term rider on our whole life product as well. And this term rider is available with full conversion options. So if you did a whole life, you added a term rider on there, so blend in some term, and you decided down the road that you wanted to convert that term and make it permanent, absolutely it continues with the normal conversion options. Kip, one thing I mentioned to you, children's whole life, we are seeing a substantial increase in children's whole life policies. So while we may be talking to mom and dad or grandma and grandpa about estate planning or, final expense planning, whatever it may be, we also have the ability to write children and grandchildren. The issue age on our whole life policies goes all down to 15 days old. Last but not least, college funding. Because it is a guaranteed product and does have a guaranteed cash value, it is a very suitable product for college funding as well. Issue ages, as I mentioned, we're going all the way down to 15 days, all the way up to age 85. And to make it suitable for more people's budget, we understand not everybody, like myself, wants to pay an insurance premium every year for the rest of our lives. So Assurity does offer it in the form of a 10 pay, 20 pay to 65, as well as a full pay. Accelerated underwriting. So we have a niche in underwriting here at Assurity, and I think we do a darn good job. So what accelerated underwriting is with Assurity is if you apply for whole life with us through our e-app, and it's on iPipeline, so from the system you all are familiar with. If you apply for whole life insurance through iPipeline, through the e-app on iPipeline, that system is set up with the capabilities of giving an instant decision. So it's going to capture all of your normal application data, that part 1 and that part 2, all the medical questions, but it's got that instant decision built in, and we're getting really, really darn good at it. So customers do have the ability to get an instant decision, and this is not a, 4 tables built in type product. This isn't a final expense where you're preferred to table 4 are all lumped into one class. This product is available from Preferred Plus all the way down to Substandard. Those 2 living benefits that I mentioned, I'm a big fan of living benefits, especially when they're included in the contract. And we have both chronic and terminal illness, of course, subject to state availability. Your terminal illness is going to be typical, the one that you see in pretty much every insurance contract. Chronic illness is the one that I really like because it gives your client the ability to accelerate a portion of the death benefit if they become chronically ill. And that's the inability to perform 2 of 6 activities of daily living or have a severe cognitive impairment. They can accelerate tax-free a portion of that death benefit and use it for whatever they want. And that is built in. The optional riders, as I mentioned, the children's term rider. So in addition to having level term on the primary insured, you can also add a children's term rider here. And that children's term rider would be fully convertible. So if you are using a product like this for estate planning and have that term rider or that children's term rider on there, they have the ability to convert that once they reach the age of majority. Critical illness rider, as I mentioned, we're a big fan, and I'm a big fan of living benefits. So you do have the ability to add a critical illness rider that would not erode the death benefit. So unlike chronic illness, that's going to be an advancement of it, and it's going to reduce your death benefit. A critical illness is going to pay out a lump sum if you have a heart attack, stroke, cancer. There's multiple triggers available there. So that is our traditional whole life product. Very, very strong, very robust. We have a long history of paying dividends here at Assurity, and very, very happy to have such a strong product for this market. And the second one that is really, really interesting, and I'll tell you, we typically see the single premium whole life business around the holidays, around tax time, and then for some reason in the middle of summertime, we'll start seeing some more of this business. But single premium whole life. So take everything that I just shared with you about the guaranteed death benefit and the guaranteed cash values. Single premium whole life is in essence the same thing, except you pay one time and you're done. You have a guaranteed death benefit for the life of the contract and a guaranteed cash value. The single premium is a great product for those that maybe have a lump sum of money, they've come into an inheritance, or maybe they have a CD. And with interest rates the way that they are now, CD rates are still relatively low. The ability to transition that into a more robust asset here in the form of a single premium whole life. So a CD alternative is one. Wealth transfer, obviously, right? A great product to be able to get money out of the estate, put it into life insurance, and be fully guaranteed. You notice that bullet point down there, it says 1035 rescue product. We're looking at data, LIMRA statistics every year. Indexed universal life continues to grow. Whole life is starting to grow. But what I've seen in my career is that we go through these significant market fluctuations when consumers are fearful about what's going to happen tomorrow in the stock market, with the world. Sometimes they do want to get away from those riskier products, the variable or even some of the indexed. So we do accept 1035 exchanges on this product, and that is a great solution, very, very easy solution to do an app. One premium comes in and have a guaranteed death benefit for life. Product highlights here. Again, we go all the way down to 15 days, all the way up to age 85. And that last bullet point down there is not a joke. No medical exams, up to $700,000, and then of course it's going to grade down the older the client is. That is no joke. We can actually do non-med underwriting on this single premium case up to these amounts. It's not a guaranteed issue. It's not the type where somebody who has major medical impairments is going to pass through because it is simplified or non-medical. We do reserve the right to order medical requirements, but I will tell you the last thing that we ever want to do is have to go after labs, exams, and APSs. So a lot of times our underwriters will pick up the phone and actually talk to the customer and talk through their medical records with them and do underwriting over the phone. We got a really good thing going here, but you do have the ability to do fully non-med on our single premium. Those same two benefits are included. The chronic illness, as I mentioned, that's 2 of 6 activities of daily living or a severe cognitive impairment. And then that critical illness benefit, the terminal illness is built in. And with that, we have covered both of the Assurity whole life products. And Kip, if it's okay with you, I'd like to just make a few additional comments about whole life and kind of what I'm seeing. And to recap, I mentioned, grandparents, mom and dad that may be concerned about estate taxes or having that permanent insurance in place. With Assurity's whole life, you have the ability to not only cover mom and dad, but I've shown, right, you can include the children in there. You have the ability to add the chronic illness, the critical illness rider in there to make it even more robust. Another thing that I'm seeing from my desk is when those applications come in from the parents or grandparents, shortly thereafter, we'll get an application on the children or grandchildren. And we like to process those all at the same time, especially when there's a family involved, and we do that pretty darn well here. So with that, Kip, I'd like to hand it back to you for any final comments and see if we have any questions from the audience.
All right, Jeff, right now I don't see any questions here in the message box at all. Give it just a minute.
Awesome.
If we don't get any, we'll go ahead and sign off.
Yes.
So anyone, if you have questions, feel free to type them in the box there to the bottom right.
Yeah, and Kip, I'm going to share my screen here real quick again. I love this site. I just told you about the single premium whole life. And if you ever are in need of a quick quote on this product, you can go to the Jetter custom quick quoter site, jetter.assurity.com. you can click on single premium whole life, and this works really well. So let's say I got a 55-year-old female non-tobacco. It's got 175,000 of cash value for 1035, and it's going to tell me exactly how much guaranteed death benefit that single premium will purchase. Keep in mind, this is not reflective of dividends or reflective of dividends, so it doesn't include that. This is the guarantee. So that site, the Jetter Quick Quarter site, is a great place to go if you're ever just needing a quick answer on how much 1035 money would, a death benefit at 1035 would purchase.
Great, great. Thanks for showing us all that.
You bet.
I still don't see any questions here, so I think we're going to go ahead and get signed off. Thank you, everyone. Unless you have more to share, Jeff.
No, that's perfect.
Okay.
I like to keep these short, sweet, and to the point.
Okay, all right. So thanks everyone for joining us today, and thank you, Jeff, of course, for the great information you shared. Please give us a call or send us an email at life@jetter.com if you have any additional questions or if you'd like to see illustrations. Again, thanks, Jeff, and thanks everyone for attending, and y'all have a great day. Goodbye.